Hi, Bruce Kowal here. Say, you confused about what is a tax resolution pro? There's a lot of people advertising themselves as that. We got some real questions to ask to find out exactly what that means. So, if you have problems with tax debt, IRS audits, or back taxes not filed, who is a tax resolution pro? And let's go into that right now. Let's take a brief deep dive. Basically, here are some questions. Put it this way. Here are some questions that test basic knowledge, qualifications, and temperament. You can use this as a checklist when you deal with somebody who advertises them services. So, the first thing is, what's the first thing that this person is going to do when you hire them? The correct answer is they're going to get the power of attorney signed to represent you, and they're going to get IRS transcripts. They're going to get the wage and income transcript and the account transcript. That should be the answer. The first question you ask somebody, what's the first step you're going to do as soon as we agree on the terms of our engagement? They're going to get the power of attorney. The next thing is, what is the most important information that you can get from these transcripts? And watch what they say for an answer, because the correct answer is how many years are left on the IRS power to collect. In other words, the IRS has 10 years to collect your taxes. After 10 years, you're home free. So you want to know how many years are left, because that's going to guide the whole strategy that your tax rep is going to make for you. If you have only 3 years left, it's a different strategy than if you have 10 years left. So that's the most important thing he needs to know to get going, is how many years left on that collection statute. And the second thing is, how many years are remaining to audit your tax return? The IRS has 3 years to audit. So after 3 years, you're pretty much home free, unless you cheated and you overstated your income. But that's nice to know. In 3 years after you file, they're not going to audit you anymore. So, does this person have a professional license? Okay. So who are the people in this space? There are CPAs like myself. There are attorneys. And there is something called an enrolled agent. And there are a lot of differences here. Now, a CPA like myself, we have a 4-year college degree plus an extra 5th year. And we have to take an exam. Plus, we have to have experience in the field to even sit for the exam. And every year we have to take 40 hours of continuing education in taxation just to keep our license. Attorneys, they get their degree in law. They also have a specialty. They'll get a master's in taxation, which I have also. But their continuing education is a little bit less. An enrolled agent is someone licensed by the IRS. Their continuing education is half of that of a CPA. And if you have a complaint, you have to complain with the IRS. If you're dealing with a CPA or an attorney, you can complain to the local licensing board, and they're a lot more responsive than the IRS. So with an enrolled agent, they have less annual hours in studying for taxation, and it's more difficult to complain about them. So another question is, you want to assess the temperament of the person you're dealing with. So you want to ask them, what do you think of the people at the IRS? Now, the correct answer would be, the IRS, they're very professional, they're very firm, and they're very fair. There are differences in personalities. If the prospective tax rep says, oh, they're a bunch of a-holes, and they're jerks, and I know how to handle them, you don't want to be dealing with that person. And the other question is, what's your approach in dealing with them? And the answer should be firm, polite, and professional. If the potential representative says, oh, I'm going to treat them like crap, I'm going to demand this, and I'm going to be tough on them, you're not going to get anywhere with the IRS. That's not going to work. And a last question, almost last, what percent of offers in compromise are accepted by the IRS? Now, the offer in compromise that's the brass ring, where the IRS will forgive a lot of debt, maybe up to 90% of it, 95%, maybe all of it. But only 1/3 are accepted, and they're expensive. So if your potential rep says, we're going to do an offer in compromise, that's $8,000 down the hole, and that's not really good, unless they know what they're doing. Another thing is make sure these people are on LinkedIn, not just Facebook. Make sure they're on LinkedIn. LinkedIn is a higher class place where business people go. You get a more full biography of the person, what they've done. If they're not on LinkedIn, I don't think they're serious. But that's up to you. I'm just giving you my perspective here. So, what's next? So, if you have questions about you owe a lot of tax debt, you have an IRS audit, other IRS problems, give me a call. That's the next step, and I'll tell you about my qualifications. Above all, I want you to be a winner in 2024. Have a great